Gwyneth Paltrow is now going to read you the first chapter of my book about GLP-1.
Book, Part 1, The Boiling Point, Chapter 1. How the effing take did we get here? I have a vivid memory that still haunts me. I was 8 years old in the kitchen, standing over a rice cake with my mom. We were drizzling chocolate sauce over it as a hack to help us feel like we had dessert, but still stay within our Weight Watchers points for the day. I think now we were just trying to settle the food noise so we could sleep, and it worked until it didn't. Like every other diet we've all done, I have been trying to control the size of my body ever since. My mom had just had my sister and signed up for Weight Watchers to lose the pregnancy weight, and she saw this as an opportunity to teach me how to eat well. Spoiler alert, even she is on a GLP-1 now. She's no monster, she just didn't know. And many people who dealt with weight issues as adolescents have similar stories of starting Weight Watchers too soon. Too soon? There's a thought. I can't help but look back now and wonder if that constant yo-yo contributed to the downfall of my metabolic health. That plus all the meds I took to help me eat less and move more. Decades later, that little girl has grown into a married woman with a successful career with amazing friends and family. So blessed. Yet, it never seemed like enough because I couldn't control something as simple as my food. I even tried lap band surgery, and like everything else, it was successful until it wasn't. And the cycle of I regained what I lost and then some continued to perpetuate the rest of my life. Until GLP-1. And here's where our story really begins. This book isn't another book about someone who lost weight and is now thin. The person who figured it out. The person who says, you can do it too, just eat and move like me. We have had enough of that trash, and this book is nothing like that. I remember announcing that I was writing a book and had left my corporate job on TikTok, only to see a comment, maybe you should reach your goal weight before quitting your job and writing a book. And I responded with a video. If you think my content is about weight loss, you don't know me at all. Let's dive in. The summer of 2022 was the perfect storm for change. I felt it, but I had no idea how much change it would drive, and so fast. I just knew I wanted to be part of it. The TikTok app was thriving in the US, and the algorithm moved so fast there. The reach was massive, unlike any of the other social platforms, where it may take many years of grinding out content to build a following. TikTok was making people TikTok famous overnight. In my opinion, the magic was in the duets, stitches, and reply to a comment with a video. It seemed that if you had a video with strong engagement and traction, you could keep making videos based on that one with the features above. And then it would give more steam to the one already going semi-viral or viral and give automatic new steam to the new video you were making because it was related and relevant. We've got to talk some boring history here to set the stage of everything that is coming in this book, so bear with me. Let's talk Big Pharma. Next, people started to hear about a new type 2 diabetic drug called Ozempic that celebrities were abusing to lose weight. And in 2021, the maker of that drug, Novo Nordisk, brought that drug to market for weight loss named Wegovy. It's very common for drug companies to rebrand a drug once it's approved for a new indication. I think it's to get on more formularies that may have exclusions, especially weight loss ones, but I really don't know for sure. People started making videos on TikTok of them giving themselves these medications, and it was almost scandalous. Why? Because they were administering it via an injection on camera. Talk about getting someone to stop their scroll immediately and watch, that did it. And those videos flew and spread like wildfire. In 2022, the Ozempic girlies were the side of TikTok everyone was watching, but no one wanted to admit it. It was almost like a dark corner of TikTok. It ended up being great marketing for Novo Nordisk, but soon the drug was in shortage around the end of 2021. But luckily, in the summer of 2022, a new blockbuster drug came on the market called Mounjaro. We know it was in the same drug class as Ozempic and Wegovy, and that it had more weight loss. Knowing there was some history here of Ozempic and Wegovy being the same medication, semaglutide, and their earlier daily injection Victoza for type 2 diabetes and later was approved for weight loss and rebranded Saxenda, it seemed that soon Mounjaro would follow the same path even though it was made by a different drug manufacturer, Eli Lilly. but these drugs were crazy expensive. The average between $1,000 to $1,400 a month. That's a mortgage, and most people can't afford that. Luckily, there was a savings card given to use in the US to get Mounjaro for $25. And get this, your insurance didn't have to cover it yet, and you didn't have to have type 2 diabetes to use it. The FDA prohibits drug manufacturers from marketing a drug off-label for an indication it wasn't approved for, so this was kind of a sneaky way around it. And it blew up on social media. People who had wanted to take Wegovy and Ozempic but couldn't afford it or couldn't handle the side effects flocked to Mounjaro. And when we would see creators listing 1 to 2 lbs a week on TikTok, the demand skyrocketed fast. By late fall of 2022, we hit our first shortage for Mounjaro. And that's when Eli Lilly changed the terms and conditions of what we refer to as the OG savings card to you had to attest to having type 2 diabetes to use it anymore. When the shortages became severe, pharmacists prioritized those with a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, which had the obesity community up in arms on TikTok saying that no one's disease is more important than the other. And this drove a rift among those in the community who started taking it to treat their diabetes, not just obesity. We even saw a pharmacist on TikTok that warned people not to attest they had the diagnosis if they didn't, and that it was considered fraud and there could be serious repercussions. It is important to recognize 2 things here. 1, many obesity specialists and endocrinologists believe that obesity and type 2 diabetes are the same disease at different levels of progression. So, for all intent and purposes, type 2 diabetes is the most serious of the diseases. I remember seeing a Facebook post that said, "We are just 1 potato chip away from getting type 2 diabetes." But in the shortage, there had to be a line drawn. And the media had a field day with this. They kept saying, people are taking this medication for weight loss and taking it from those with type 2 diabetes who need it to live. While none of these medications are life-sustaining, there's some truth to that. But I didn't know that until I started interviewing experts so they could help us understand. The only people discussing obesity as a chronic disease during this time were doctors who were influencers, or doctors who did talks targeted at other doctors. The game changer, back to the perfect storm, was when these doctors started explaining obesity as a disease and explaining all the studies around it. Those with obesity felt so validated, and we ate it up. Many of those doctors became TikTok sensations. More and more people wanted to share their GLP-1 journey and grow a following on TikTok, and a community was born.
Gwyneth, don't stop. Ah. Okay, here's the last bit of the first chapter.
Sucker for anything with Morgan Freeman.
Oh, no.
There's a part when he is
Hold on.
I'm a sucker for anything with Morgan Freeman. One of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption. I'm a sucker for anything with Morgan Freeman in it. There's a part when he is explaining, geology is the study of pressure and time. That's all it took, really. Pressure and time. That and a big goddamn poster. I think of that often now, seeing how this issue with accessibility and affordability was in the pressure cooker of TikTok, and seeing how we got the prices from $1,000 a month cut in half in 3 years. The voices on TikTok were the pressure, and the media saw it and capitalized on it, and then there was time. That and a bunch of big goddamn marginalized people with grit, too.
Hey! Okay, is that some good shit or is it just me? Gwyneth reads it so well. It took me a really long time to write that long chapter. What do you guys think? Good, right? I felt good about it. I'm not a book writer, but I used to write a lot when I was younger. I was a poet. And I knew it. Wait, yeah. It takes a long time to write a book, you know? Just kind of chip away at it. I'm going to try to do it once a week. Anybody got any tips for book writing? You know? I don't know. I think I got a really good outline so far. I wrote like a little ebook like a year ago, but then I knew TikTok was going to go away and I was going to like go to all my TikToks. But then I started to grow more and learn more and know more and become more as an advocate. And I was like, it's a bigger story here, you know? Love you.